mistake there. The way his feet just kind of like... try and make a bit of a movement there. Sorry if I'm not being very talkative through this, but it's more... the fuck? It's more like, just you kind of watching what I'm doing, more than me explaining it, because I can't really this is more because I can't really explain it rather than you seeing it. I must say I'm not really too happy with this, but I'm going to have to stick to it for the tutorial. It's a little bit awkward, doesn't it? I wonder what it is actually. I wonder why it's actually looking so awkward. What's actually awkward about it? Is it the fact that that is a movement? Once you start getting the whole body moving every bit, I think that's more or less when it starts to look a bit more realistic. The IK rigs have this habit of making everything look very staticky. They do make it easier to animate though. I think a lot of what you do can be helped out by the camera angles as well. Times when I haven't been able to do something, I just try and work it in with the camera work. Tell you what, for the sake of this, we'll just go with that, because I don't really want to spend years on this. I just kind of want to show you a bit of basics. But if I was going to make a video, there was no way it'd be like that. I'd probably have to spend quite a few hours to get this to look alright, because I'm still practicing this. But I suppose now I can make him aim forward. I'll do the pose to pose thing again. I suppose really to get a bit of an adjust of it, we can have them flip back slightly. the spy's head rotation still make it look a bit weird. So every 3 frames, I make a new pose. I go for that. Really try and think about how it's going to look in each pose. I have to want him up straight quite a bit. Looks more like he's throwing the gun than actually posing it down at the minute. See if we can build it off. Let's see if we can go with that. Fuck off. What are you doing? Sorry. I'm actually doing this with no music, which is probably the reason I'm kind of getting a bit bored here. Bit of another bit of advice here, but whenever you're animating, listen to some damn music. If not, you go insane with boredom. Well, not really boredom, just kind of it's too silent. I'll probably add some music in the when I'm editing this tutorial, but right now I don't really hear anything. Since this is more of an idle pose, we can bring this out a bit more for this bit of an idle breathing thing here. So let's see how this is going to look. I know I'm not exactly, I know I picked something really difficult with this walk animation, but hopefully I should be able to make this look a bit better, because I haven't really had much practice with walking cycles, so I'm still a bit rusty on that part. That looks a bit better. This is more the kind of thing I do. I want to open that up a bit more. I think what the problem I've got here is I've kind of moved it too far over this pistol. Or ambassador, sorry. Let's try and get this in the same place. Not the exact same place, but just so it's moving, it looks like he's aiming. Yeah, more like that. Oh, hello, what was that? Well, since we've got that done, the last thing we really need to do is have him shoot it, I suppose. Now, let's play it again and figure out whereabouts we're going to have him shoot, so I reckon about there. Now, I suppose, let me think, should I do the animation or the particle system first? I'll start with the animation. So, first of all, we're going to have his, we'll have him having the kickback. I suppose, before that gets to his, it's going to have to affect his hand more than when it affects his chest. Let's get this picture that he's kind of, there's a lot of force has been shot out of this gun. That's gonna move his hips back, collarbones back a bit, whatever. I suppose it would be good if we have him kind of like holding the gun back up in the air. It's been like forced up in the air by the probably going to be something that you can't really get right the first time. I'm more just posting this out. What I'll do is this is probably going to be slow, way too slow, but what I'll do is I'll just speed up and I'll show you how to do that. So what we can do is we can drag that across with Alt drag. Still looks a bit odd, doesn't it? Really, we need a bit of him lowering down a bit as well. I think his pelvis needs a bit of work there. I really like how it just kind of butts out forward there. Got here. Why is this freezing out there? I suppose really we could have his other arm animating, since I haven't really done much with it since we haven't seen it. You should really think of every pose as a poster you've got to make, because each frame has got to look quite good. his arm kind of swing back there a bit, since he's got the impact of the backdraft of the gun. That'll do. I can't spend too much time on this. I need to get through it. So we've got a kind of very basic animation there. Could do with a lot more detail, but this is more about getting the basic thing done. Hold on a second, I'm just going to turn the light on my room. It's that time of day where something goes really dark, and you're like, what the hell? So now that we got this gun here, let's find the exact point where he's going to start getting the cock back on this gun, which is about there. I suppose really we could have his oh, bugger. This is just the way I do it, by the way. You don't have to do it this way. This is just more giving you an idea of how I get these things done. I'm still developing this technique, but it works for me. That's the main thing. So, hopefully, if you've watched the particle tool, the particle tutorial by Valve, or the Source Filmmaker team, I should say, probably know briefly particles, but when I import them, I always have to quickly go into the particle editor, which is here in Windows, and then I'll open up and see. I'll go into Team Fortress Particles. Where's that? Particles. See if we can find the bullet particles. Muzzle flash, is it? Yeah. So let's find one that looks more. It's going to fit this ambassador. Is it going to be something like that? We need something small but powerful, I suppose, really. I suppose muzzle revolver is the sort of thing I should use. Yeah, okay, so now we know, and we're going to have it. Always put it one frame before what you're going to happen, because that gives it time to appear. So it was in muzzle flash, and it was called revolver. There we go. Nope. If your particle, you might notice the particle doesn't show up. This is because Source Filmmaker has a very annoying bug, where basically unless you move the cursor off shot, the particles won't appear. There they are. It's not that big, it just looks like that's as close to the camera. So let's select the whole timeline. Get this right. Move this to the point where we need it. Again, I'm not really trying to make artwork here as much as just make something very simple that just shows a little way you can do animations. Because what you should really do is expand off it more than anything, rather than just copy exactly what I'm doing. God, this particle looks very basic, doesn't it? I suppose that'll do. So that's a particle. I suppose you might want to move it up slightly. That'll do. I suppose really we could add a sound here of the revolver. Now we can do that as again. Go just there. We'll go effects. We'll search revolver. That'll do. I've got my sound turned off. A lot of times the sound sounds a bit off because you kind of need to open up the start of it because it kind of catches the first few seconds rather than all of it. There we go. Now I want to get all the kind of animation-y things done here. Something nice you can do that always makes a hand look more animated is doing finger animation. But I don't think we really got time for that. But yeah, you can add a bit of finger animation. Just basically very, very little brief poses. Let's I'll tell you what. Why don't we have the camera? We'll animate the camera. I've got something cool we can do with the eyes. We'll animate the camera coming in as he walks in. So what the fuck? Because a lot of this is down to how you make it look in the cameras. So let's have it. I do like being able to move about with cameras. Something very simple here, just have a little pan. So we're going to have, basically, what we can do is we can have the spy looking at the camera, and I'll tell you how we can make the spy very easily look at the camera, because the eyes actually have a little transform thing, which is the view target. And the way you can take advantage of this of making them look at something is, well, for the camera instance, I'm going to take the transform of the camera, I'm going to put it on there like a lock. What I'm going to do there is I'm going to put that to default, and now he is going to look at the camera constantly. Why don't we make the camera shake a bit when he fires? So how we can do that? Actually, I'll tell you what. Instead of actually transforming, we can do the you field of view. I had it right the first time. We can take the jitter. Use it on here, and we can smooth that. Of course, that looks a bit silly, but here we have a little basic shot where we've got the spy walking in, he aims at the camera and goes back like that. Now why don't we add something a bit more to the spy that'll bring it to life? That'll be face posing. Trying to cover a good number of things, not everything, because that'll take for ages, but I'll take over some of the main things. Finger posing does bring things to life, yeah, but face posing doesn't more, so I'll go with that. Now the face is actually split up into like 3 bits. Now why don't we add some idle animations to the nose first, because think of the nose as kind of an idle thing, because you do breathe. So why don't we have it about there for about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Have him breathe up. I'll tell you something I like to do is I always like to have it slightly away from the middle, because it gives you kind of an uneven face tone, which actually brings it to life a bit more. So have him just have a little sniff there. Now let me give him a big cheeky grin when he gives this shot. And I'll tell you what, you should always have it like slightly one-sided whenever you do a smile, because it'll bring it to life a bit more. I'll tell you what, we'll do one whole pose for this bit here. And we'll have a... Yeah, that looks a bit dokey more than anything. Let's have have his eyebrows looking slightly bit of a crazy grin. That's what we want to go for. So I have this pose here. He's in there. What's that? That was his nose. Alright, so we can have him. I don't remember doing that. That's very strange. I want to have him having a. Don't want his face to be completely expressionless when he comes in. So why don't we have bit of movement there. Just anything really that makes his face move a bit. Now, since I haven't actually, in Team Fortress 2, let's add a bit of silliness here in terms of Fortress. Now, as you all know, if you get shot by an ambassador, even if you like a little scout or something, you can still survive a headshot from that. So basically, I didn't die. That's why the camera's still there, and so we can have the spy going, pulling a face like, no, not that. That's actually really scary. Pull him a face like, what the fuck? He's more like, I suppose really, oh bugger, I don't want to do that. Bugger, I'm so British. Slightly when he does that. It's not going to look right, it's going to move the whole body. Yeah, I should really move the whole body on there. Not really, I know I should really do the pose-to-pose thing, but this is very brief, so I'm not going to really do that. Let's have his hand moving a little bit so it's not really staticky. Yeah, move down a bit there since he doesn't really need that up anymore. I'll move his elbow out a bit as well. So I suppose really that'll be the end of it. Have one last pose he goes into so he's not static for this end bit. One very last pose there. I suppose we can end our clip just about whereabouts.